Your life changes the moment your presence becomes heavier than the room. Confidence is not noise, it's gravity. You don't have to shout, prove, or persuade. Real confidence is the quiet force that bends attention toward you without effort. It's the steadiness that makes people feel you before they hear you. The loud impress for a moment, the calm influence for a lifetime. True confidence isn't a mask, it's alignment. It begins when your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in one clear direction. The highest form of confidence is simple. Nothing shakes you, nothing provokes you, nothing controls you. Most people live in reaction, chasing approval, flinching at criticism, and leaking power every time they over-explain or rush to please. But the moment you master non-reaction, your energy stops escaping. You become untouchable, still, sharp, composed, the kind of calm that feels dangerous, because it needs nothing. This isn't fantasy, it's biology. When you breathe slowly and stay aware, your prefrontal cortex calms the alarm system of your brain. Your body obeys, voice deepens, heart rate steadies, posture opens. The nervous system broadcasts safety, and the world synchronizes to you. Confidence is not a thought, it's a state of regulation. A trained nervous system becomes a clean signal that others instinctively trust. Think of this as frequency. What you repeat becomes the tone you carry. Most people let the environment tune them. The confident tune themselves, and the environment adapts or fades away. Power always flows to coherence. In this audiobook, you'll learn to build that coherence, to stop explaining, to master your inner voice, and to build self-respect so unshakable that approval becomes irrelevant. You'll reclaim your energy from other people's reactions, use silence as strength, and let your body speak before words do. You'll turn discomfort into growth, rejection into fuel, and detachment into freedom. Confidence isn't pretending. Pretending cracks under pressure. What we'll build here is structural, mental discipline, emotional control, and embodied authority. Each breath, pause, and posture will train your system to respond with calm precision. Repetition will turn it into instinct. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Let your awareness settle. You don't need to conquer the world, only to stop abandoning yourself in small moments. From that steadiness, everything else follows. This is the shift from acting confident to being confident, from reaction to mastery. We begin now. If you're ready to rise above the noise, like the video. It tells YouTube you're choosing awareness over autopilot. Subscribe now, and don't miss the next chapter in your evolution. And remember, the deepest transformation belongs to those who stay until the very end. Chapter 1. The Power of Non-Reaction. Every time you explain yourself, you trade clarity for noise. You drain energy trying to convince people who were never your judges to begin with. Most people talk because silence makes them nervous. Confident people stay silent because silence reveals truth. When you stop rushing to justify every choice, you stop negotiating with your own worth. Think about it. How many times have you started a sentence with, "I'm sorry, it's just that," or "I only did it because"? That impulse to soften, to prove, to fill the gap, is fear wearing good manners. Each unnecessary explanation is a small withdrawal from your account of inner power. The more you do it, the poorer you feel inside. But when you say what is needed and stop, you create pressure. You let silence carry your authority. That is non-reaction. On a biological level, every explanation activates a stress loop. The mind anticipates judgment, the heart rate increases, cortisol rises, and your body begins to defend instead of express. But when you choose stillness, your nervous system stays coherent. The prefrontal cortex keeps command. The amygdala quiets. You reclaim your chemistry. In that state, your voice lowers naturally. Your words become slower, and your sentences tighten. Power doesn't need volume. It needs voltage. On an energetic level, every human interaction is an exchange of frequency. When you react compulsively, your frequency wobbles. When you hold silence, your field stays stable, and stability bends influence. In the quantum model, an observer collapses a possibility into reality. The one who stays still controls the collapse. That is why calm people appear to lead rooms. They are not louder. They simply refuse to scatter. Stop explaining yourself, and you signal that your decisions were made from consciousness, not confusion. You start living from what spiritual science calls alignment. Thought, word, and action, vibrating as one. Alignment is magnetic. People trust what feels consistent. When you say less, your words acquire weight because they match your vibration. This is not rudeness. It is respect for yourself and for energy. The world does not need another person defending every breath they take. It needs more people who can stand in calm conviction, letting their choices speak. You are not here to argue for your right to exist. You already exist. Therefore, the argument is over. Here is a practice. For the next 7 days, catch yourself in the act of explaining. The moment you start adding layers of justification, pause, breathe, ask, am I speaking to clarify or to be approved? If it is approval, stop mid-sentence. Replace it with something brief and clean. I've decided. That doesn't work for me. Thank you for understanding. Then hold the silence. It will feel heavy at first, but soon that weight will shift from discomfort to power. In the silence, you will hear a new frequency, certainty. You will feel how much energy returns when you stop giving it away, through words meant to please. The people who once demanded long explanations will begin to adjust to your new tone. Some will resist, others will respect it. But the most important change will happen inside. You will start to trust the sound of your own boundaries. Think of the most powerful presences you've encountered. They do not rush. They do not flood conversation with proof. Their stillness is unsettling because it exposes how frantic others are. You can become that stillness. It begins when you decide your choices no longer require permission slips. Every unnecessary explanation whispers, I doubt myself. Every calm pause says, I am clear. The choice between the two is the choice between depletion and command. From this point forward, choose command. Speak less, mean more. Let silence do what words cannot. Declare that you are enough. That is the first law of dangerous confidence. When you react to nothing, you control everything. Chapter 2. Master your inner voice. The programmer of reality. Your inner voice is the most persuasive speaker you will ever hear. It narrates every choice, every hesitation, every victory and defeat. It is either your bodyguard or your assassin. It can build an empire inside you, or quietly burn it down. Confidence does not begin with posture or tone. It begins in the privacy of your own thoughts. Before the world ever doubts you, your mind has already cast its vote. If that inner voice whispers, I'm not enough, your actions shrink to fit that prophecy. But if it says I've handled worse, I belong here, I can learn anything, your body aligns to that frequency. Same person, same room, different programming. The mind is not a mirror, it's a transmitter. Every thought is an electrical signal, and every signal has a frequency. The universe responds to frequency, not words. When you think repeatedly in one direction, You tune your energy field to that tone. The subconscious then bends perception to match it. This is not magic. It's neurology. The brain builds networks around repetition. Neurons that fire together, wire together. The more you repeat a phrase, the more real it becomes to your nervous system. Most people wait for proof before they change the inner script. They say, "When I succeed, I'll feel confident. When people respect me, I'll believe I'm capable." But that logic collapses on itself because the brain's filter, called the reticular activating system, only shows you evidence that matches your dominant belief. If you think you are unworthy, you will notice rejection and miss opportunity. If you believe you can grow, you will notice doors where others see walls. Confidence is therefore an act of programming. You are the coder. Your thoughts are the language. Every self-directed sentence is a line of code that tells your biology what to expect. And your biology listens. When you say, "I can't handle this," stress hormones flood your system. When you say, "I'm learning to handle this," those same chemicals drop, and the executive brain comes back online. You literally think clearer. Energetically, the same rule applies. Words are sound waves, and sound waves carry vibration. Ancient mystics called it logos, the creative word. Modern physics calls it resonance. Say I am calm with conviction, and your cells feel it. Say I am lost often enough, and your energy collapses to match. The law is simple. You become what you repeat. Here is how you shift the frequency. Step 1. Catch the whisper. Notice the small automatic lines that play in your head during daily moments. I always mess up. They probably think I'm weird. I shouldn't try this. Awareness breaks the trance. Step 2. Interrupt the pattern. Do not argue with the voice. Upgrade it. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." Replace "I'm nervous" with "I'm alert and ready." The brain takes substitution better than denial. Step 3. Anchor it physically. Words alone fade. Pair them with breath and posture. Speak affirmations out loud, slowly, while standing tall. This tells the body the command is real. Step 4. Rehearse daily. The brain learns through rhythm. Morning repetition imprints faster because the mind is still in alpha waves, the frequency between waking and dream. 3 sentences are enough. I respect myself. I can handle anything that comes today. I don't need approval to move forward. Say them not as wishes, but as decisions. At first, it feels mechanical. Then something subtle happens. Your nervous system begins to believe you. Your breath slows, your tone steadies, your choices simplify. The inner voice that once attacked you becomes your strategist. And that changes everything, because the outer world always harmonizes with your inner conversation. Understand this. Life is not echoing what you do. It is echoing what you broadcast. If your broadcast says, "I am stable," chaos loses its grip. If it says, "I need," you attract more situations that make you need. The universe is not punishing or rewarding. It is mirroring. From now on, guard the station that transmits your reality. Edit it like sacred code. Because once your inner voice speaks with conviction, the world will start adjusting its tone to yours. Confidence doesn't start with applause. It starts in silence, where you decide what kind of signal you'll send next. Speak wisely, because the universe is listening to the same voice you are. That is how you master the programmer of reality. Chapter 3. Build self-respect before confidence. Confidence without self-respect is a mask. It may glitter in public, but it collapses in private. The way you treat yourself when no one is watching is the blueprint the world follows. You cannot command respect externally if you quietly disrespect yourself internally. The energy doesn't add up. Respect is the soil. Confidence is the bloom. Most people try to build the flower before they've planted the ground. They chase tricks, better posture, louder tone, sharper outfit, while their internal dialogue still whispers, "I'm not enough." That dissonance leaks. Others can sense it, even if they can't name it. Energy speaks before words do. To respect yourself is to live in energetic integrity, where your actions honor your own standards. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen that integrity. Every time you break one, you fracture it. It's not about morality, it's about alignment. Imagine your inner world as a geometric structure made of trust. Every small kept promise adds another beam of stability. Every lie to yourself removes one. When enough beams are gone, the structure wobbles, and that wobble is what you feel as insecurity. Here's the truth most never face. Disrespect for self is subtle. It hides in tiny daily betrayals. The snoozed alarm after vowing to wake early. The yes you give when your gut says no. The procrastination on something that matters to you. Each seems harmless, but the subconscious records them all as proof that your word means little. And when your own mind doesn't trust you, how could confidence possibly root? Let's make it practical. Begin rebuilding self-respect in micro-acts. Keep one small promise daily. Choose something so simple you can't fail. 5 minutes of reading, 1 minute of breath work, 1 glass of water before coffee. Do it because you said you would, not because it's grand. The point is consistency, not scale. The subconscious learns reliability through repetition. Protect your standards. When someone crosses a line, address it calmly and early. You are teaching your nervous system that your peace matters. Every boundary held adds voltage to your presence. Eliminate casual self-insults. Every "I'm so dumb" or "I can never focus" is a small fracture. Replace them with neutral truth. I'm learning. I'm improving. Your language sets your frequency. Celebrate follow-through quietly. The ego seeks applause. The soul seeks proof. After each kept promise, pause, breathe, and feel the integrity click into place. That physical recognition seals the respect. Science confirms it. Each act of follow-through releases dopamine, the brain's reward signal. But unlike the erratic dopamine spikes of social validation, this one builds stability. You begin to associate effort with satisfaction. That is how self-discipline turns into self-respect. On an energetic level, self-respect strengthens your aura, the electromagnetic field your body emits. When you betray yourself, your field becomes porous. Outside opinions slip in easily. When you stand in integrity, the field thickens. People sense it before they understand it. They hesitate to cross boundaries they can't see, because your energy communicates. I take myself seriously. Spiritual science calls this resonance law. The universe mirrors your internal treatment of self. If you cut corners on your own promises, the world mirrors back people who cut corners with you. But once you start honoring your word, life adjusts to your standard. Opportunities, conversations, and relationships reorganize to match your frequency of self-respect. Understand, you can't fake this. You either radiate the coherence of someone who trusts themselves, or you don't. And when you do, confidence flows naturally. It's not a performance, it's gravity. So today, stop asking how to look confident. Start asking, how can I trust myself more by nightfall? Keep that one promise, however small. Protect that one boundary, however uncomfortable. Because each act of respect whispers to your subconscious, I am worth my own effort. And when your inner world believes that, your outer world can't help but agree. Self-respect is the foundation of dangerous confidence, the kind that doesn't crumble under scrutiny, because it was never built for show. It was built from truth. Chapter 4. Transcend the need for approval. The hunger for approval is one of the quietest cages a human can live in. It disguises itself as kindness, as humility, as care for others. But underneath, it's dependency. Every time you adjust your truth to make someone more comfortable, you shrink your energy field to fit their perception. You begin living in fragments, performing small pieces of yourself to earn a nod, a smile, a sense of belonging. But belonging built on compliance is not belonging. It's captivity. Approval is a subtle drug. The first compliment feels good. Your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that tells you you're safe, accepted, valued. Soon you begin chasing the next dose. More likes, more praise, more agreement. What starts as social connection becomes chemical conditioning. You train your nervous system to need external permission to feel at peace. And the moment that permission is withdrawn, anxiety fills the space. Here's the truth most people never face. No one's approval can permanently fill the void of self-disrespect. The validation of others is like wind. It touches you and moves on. The only approval that stays is the one you give yourself through alignment. Psychology calls it locus of control. When your sense of worth is external, you live reactively, your emotions tied to others' reactions. When it's internal, you live autonomously, grounded, responsive, deliberate. You cannot control opinions, but you can control orientation. Each day you must decide, will I orbit around other people's acceptance, or will I let them orbit around my clarity? To transcend approval, you must reclaim your energetic sovereignty. Approval seeking is a cord that drains power from your solar plexus, the energy center of will and self-trust. When you cut that cord, your vitality returns. You no longer depend on applause to define success. You move from performing to creating. This is what detachment looks like in practice. Pause before you please. The moment you sense yourself bending your truth, stop. Breathe. Ask, what am I trying to earn right now? If the answer is peace, remind yourself. Peace bought through compliance always costs self-respect. Practice honest expression in small doses. Say no without apology. Share an opinion that might be unpopular, but true for you. Your nervous system will tremble at first, but it will learn that rejection is survivable. Each honest act rewires safety around authenticity. Stop explaining your boundaries. No is a full sentence. When you tack on long justifications, you unconsciously seek forgiveness. Replace the apology with presence. Tone calm, body still, words few. That silence communicates more authority than any explanation. Anchor in internal validation. Each night, list 3 moments you acted in alignment instead of approval. Feel the relief of self-honesty. Let that satisfaction sink deeper than any compliment could. Spiritually, the need for approval is the illusion of separation. You seek validation because you've forgotten that you already belong to existence itself. The same life force breathing through stars breathes through you. The moment you realize this, external opinions lose gravity. They become weather, temporary, irrelevant to the mountain's stability. Detachment doesn't mean arrogance. You can value feedback without being governed by it. You can appreciate admiration without depending on it. You listen, discern, integrate what serves, and discard what doesn't. That is emotional maturity. Understand this. People's approval is often a reflection of their preferences, not your truth. When you chase it, you're trying to fit into their projections. But when you live from authenticity, your frequency stabilizes. And paradoxically, the same people who once doubted you begin to respect you. Why? Because strength magnetizes even those who once resisted it. The transition from approval to alignment feels lonely at first. You'll lose some applause, maybe some company. But what returns is worth more: peace, autonomy, and a quiet sense of certainty that no compliment could give you. You become the source instead of the seeker, the sun instead of the satellite. So when you catch yourself waiting for someone to validate your choice, pause and remind yourself, my worth is not a debate. My alignment is enough. Breathe that truth until it becomes the only permission you need. The day you no longer crave applause is the day your energy stops leaking outward and begins radiating inward. That shift is the birth of true power, the kind that doesn't shout for recognition because it already knows it is seen. That is how you transcend the need for approval and return to sovereignty. Chapter 5. The Science of Silence. Turn emotion into energy. Silence is not emptiness. It is containment, a field where energy gathers instead of spilling. Most people mistake reaction for power, but reaction is discharge. True confidence is conservation, the ability to hold energy until it becomes direction. Every argument, every defensive word, every impulsive reply is an energetic leak. You can feel it. Your pulse accelerates, your breath shortens, your mind scatters into imaginary conversations that never end. Emotion demands expression, but not all expression is evolution. The confident learn to transform energy instead of releasing it wastefully. Think of silence as alchemy. In the same way that heat refines metal, stillness refines emotion. When you pause before reacting, you create space for transmutation. The nervous system shifts from sympathetic activation, fight or flight, into parasympathetic regulation, rest and control. This moment of stillness is not weakness. It is the mind reclaiming the body's chemistry. Biologically, the pause matters. The prefrontal cortex, your rational commander, takes roughly 6 seconds to engage after a trigger. That means if you can stay quiet and breathe deeply for 6 seconds, you literally change which part of the brain is running the show. What felt like rage becomes clarity. What felt like threat becomes information. On an energetic level, silence thickens your field. People expect reaction. They push, provoke, poke for an emotional spike because it validates their control. When you stay unmoved, their energy hits a wall and returns to them. That reversal is why silence feels powerful. You stop being a sponge and become a mirror. To practice this, remember 3 words: breathe, observe, contain. Breathe. Deepen your breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Each long exhale lowers cortisol, signaling to your body, I am safe. Observe. Shift from participant to witness. Imagine watching the situation like a movie scene. You are the director deciding the cut, not the actor trapped in the frame. This tiny mental distance rewires perspective instantly. Contain. Instead of spilling emotion, let it move through your system. Feel the electricity behind anger, the tremor behind fear, the tightness behind defensiveness. Let it rise, crest, and dissipate. Energy that's felt fully does not need to be performed. This is how you convert emotion into intelligence. The heat that once drove you to shout can now fuel decisive action. The sadness that once collapsed you becomes empathy. Energy never dies. It only changes form. Silence is the laboratory where that transformation happens. Psychologically, people respect what they cannot predict. The one who reacts emotionally is transparent and easy to manipulate. The one who stays composed forces others to reveal themselves. That is leadership through energy management. In every confrontation, you hold two battles, the outer argument and the inner one. The outer fight wants victory. The inner fight wants mastery. Choose the inner, and you'll win both. Silence allows time for the heart to settle so wisdom can speak. Now understand this deeper truth. Silence is not suppression. Suppression hides emotion in the body, where it festers. Transmutation acknowledges emotion, witnesses it, and channels it upward into awareness. Imagine your anger as compressed fire. Don't extinguish it. Direct it into focus. Imagine fear as static energy. Ground it through breath. When you learn to do this, people will feel a difference around you. They won't know why your presence disarms conflict or settles chaos. They'll simply sense it. That's because your energy no longer spills outward. It circulates inward, forming what spiritual science calls a coherent field. A coherent field influences incoherence without effort. The practice is simple, but not easy. Pause before speech, breathe before judgment, listen before answering. Let silence precede every decision. In that gap, your intuition will surface. The quiet intelligence that doesn't shout, but always knows. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, resist the reflex to react. Hold your ground in calm stillness. Remember, silence isn't the absence of power. It's power under control. The confident do not fight every battle. They decide which energy is worth their movement. That discipline is the true science of silence, the art of turning raw emotion into refined authority. When you master it, your words will need fewer syllables, and your presence will carry 10 times the impact. Hold the line. Breathe. Contain. Transform. That is how you become untouchable in a world addicted to noise. Chapter 6. Embody confidence. Let your body speak first. Before your mouth forms a single word, your body has already declared your identity. Every gesture, every tilt of the chin, every rhythm of breath broadcasts your state long before your language begins. The confident know this truth well. Posture precedes perception. When you walk into a room, your energy arrives first. People read it unconsciously. Shoulders pulled tight mean uncertainty. Eyes darting means self-doubt. A compressed chest signals defense. But when you stand tall, move slowly, and breathe evenly, your body speaks fluently. I am safe. I belong. I am not performing. The human body is a transmitter. It radiates electrical and magnetic frequencies, measurable by science. The heart alone produces a field that extends meters beyond you, synchronizing with the hearts of others. When your nervous system is regulated, that field becomes coherent, and coherence is felt as authority. People respond not to your outfit or tone, but to the harmony or chaos of your physiology. Neuroscience has proved what ancient teachers already knew. Posture changes hormones. A straight spine and open chest raise testosterone and lower cortisol within minutes. This combination translates internally to calm dominance, energy without aggression, clarity without strain. Slouched shoulders, shallow breath, and downward gaze do the opposite. They compress energy flow through the vagus nerve, reducing oxygen, dimming confidence at its biological core. Your body and mind form a loop. Your thoughts shape your body. Your body feeds back new thoughts. When you walk small, the mind assumes danger. When you walk expanded, the mind receives evidence of safety. That's why acting confident can actually build real confidence, because physiology reprograms psychology. Here's the practice. 1. Ground before entry. Before entering any space, pause at the doorway. Plant your feet hip-width apart. Inhale slowly through your nose, let your shoulders drop, and exhale through your mouth. Feel your spine lengthen. Then walk forward with even pace. Not rushed, not hesitant. This single breath changes how people read you. 2. Move with economy. Fidgeting scatters energy. Stillness gathers it. Limit small, nervous gestures. Move only when movement is needed. Every controlled gesture becomes a statement. I am in command of my energy. 3. Master eye contact. Most avoid the gaze of others because they fear being seen. Hold it just 1 second longer than comfortable, not to dominate, but to communicate calm presence. You're saying without words, I can be witnessed without collapsing. That is magnetic. 4. Let stillness speak. You don't have to rush to fill pauses. When your body remains quiet during silence, you communicate certainty. Words then become punctuation, not filler. On a spiritual level, the body is the vessel through which consciousness expresses form. If the vessel leaks tension, awareness scatters. But when it's aligned, shoulders open, breath rhythmic, gaze steady, consciousness anchors fully in the present. That's why stillness feels sacred. The soul finally fits inside its instrument. Energy follows geometry. When your body is upright, energy flows vertically from base to crown, connecting instinct, emotion, thought, and intuition. That vertical current radiates coherence. People feel it before they interpret it. The confident don't push their energy outward. They allow it to rise through alignment. There's an elegance to embodied power. You don't need exaggerated gestures or forced smiles. Confidence lives in economy. One small nod, one measured breath, one unwavering stance that says, I am home in myself. Remember, the body cannot lie. You can memorize powerful words, but if your body whispers insecurity, the room will believe the whisper. So train your body to be the physical proof of your self-respect. It is your first sentence, your first impression, your first declaration of worth. From this point forward, treat posture, breath, and movement as a spiritual practice. Every step is an affirmation. Every gesture is intention. Every pause is presence. Because when your body speaks confidence, your words no longer have to convince. People will feel what you are before you even tell them who you are. That is how you embody confidence, by letting your presence become the loudest voice in the room. Chapter 7. Shift from reaction to creation. Most people live as echoes, not instruments. They spend their days reacting to circumstances, responding to moods, defending against energy that isn't even theirs. But confidence is not born in reaction. It is born in creation. The person who reacts is a puppet of the environment. The person who creates becomes the environment. Reaction is instinct. Creation is intention. One drains energy, the other directs it. Every time you react impulsively, to a comment, to an opinion, to chaos, you abandon the role of author and become a character in someone else's story. But when you act from inner design, you reclaim authorship. You become the writer, the composer, the architect of vibration around you. To shift from reaction to creation, you must learn to slow perception. Between stimulus and response lies the most powerful space you will ever own. A pause that separates you from your past conditioning. That pause is not empty, it's creative soil. In that half-second of silence, your consciousness decides who leads, fear or intention. Neuroscience calls this moment response inhibition. The prefrontal cortex, the executive of the mind, overrides the limbic system's reflex. Every time you choose deliberate action over impulse, those neural circuits strengthen. You are literally wiring your brain for sovereignty. That's why emotional mastery feels calm. It's not repression, it's architecture. Let's bring it closer. Imagine someone criticizes your work. The reactive self contracts, defending identity. Energy spikes, heart races, words sharpen. But pause for one breath. Inhale. Exhale. That single act pulls you back from the edge. The prefrontal cortex lights up. Now ask, what outcome do I want here? That question shifts energy from protection to creation. You move from proving to shaping. You can redirect the entire interaction through tone, through presence, through choice. Here's how you can practice daily. 1. Pre-decide your frequency. Before entering any space, set an energetic intention. I will remain calm. I will guide the tone. I will leave people more centered than I found them. The field obeys focus. When you declare your energy first, circumstances adapt instead of dictate. 2. Translate triggers into training. Each emotional jolt is a workout for awareness. When someone's chaos bumps against you, don't fight it. Observe it as data. Ask, what part of me is still reactive? What belief is being pressed? Reaction reveals unhealed code. Creation rewrites it. 3. Respond from vision, not emotion. Emotion is temporary voltage. Vision is long-wave current. The reactive mind lives in seconds. The creative mind lives in purpose. Before speaking or moving, recall the bigger pattern you are serving. That reminder neutralizes small drama instantly. 4. Practice deliberate pace. Reactivity loves speed. Creation moves slowly, with gravity. Lower your speech, slow your gestures, lengthen your breath. Your energy will thicken, and the faster others spin, the more your stillness bends them back toward coherence. From a spiritual lens, reactivity is the illusion of separation. When you forget that you are part of everything, you fear everything, so you react. But when you remember that you are both wave and ocean, you understand that nothing is truly against you. It's all feedback from the larger field. Creation is collaboration with that field. You no longer fight energy, you sculpt it. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. The moment you stop vibrating in response to others and start emitting your own tone, everything around you either harmonizes or drifts away. That's leadership at the energetic level. No titles, no commands, just frequency alignment. The shift from reaction to creation will not happen in a single moment. It will happen through thousands of small pauses, each one reclaiming an inch of your awareness from the chaos. But one day, you'll notice something subtle. The world no longer pulls you. You walk into conflict, and the energy calms. You enter uncertainty, and time seems to slow, because now you set the rhythm. Remember this law. The reactive are controlled by motion. The creators control motion itself. So from now on, refuse to be a puppet of impulse. Walk into every scene as the director. Steady, observant, decisive. The world doesn't need another person fighting noise. It needs someone calm enough to design silence into music. That is what it means to stop reacting and start creating. Chapter 8. Embrace discomfort. The gym of the soul. Real confidence is not built in peace. It is forged in friction. Discomfort is the resistance that strengthens your inner muscle. Every time you avoid it, you delay your evolution. Every time you face it, you carve new structure into your soul. Growth does not happen in the known. It happens in the stretch between what you are and what you could be. That stretch hurts, not because you're breaking, but because you're expanding. Yet most people spend their lives running from that sensation. They choose the familiar because it feels safe, not realizing that safety is often the most dangerous place to live. Think about the moments that changed you most. Were they calm and predictable? Or did they come when you were terrified, uncertain, raw, but you did it anyway? The mind remembers comfort, but the soul respects courage. Discomfort is not punishment. It's feedback that you're growing. Neuroscience backs this truth. Every time you do something unfamiliar, your brain fires new neural pathways. At first, it feels clumsy and threatening because the old neural loops are stronger. But repetition strengthens the new circuit, and soon, what once terrified you becomes effortless. That is neuroplasticity, the biological mirror of spiritual growth. The discomfort you feel in learning is literally your brain reshaping itself to handle more life. Spiritually, discomfort is vibrational training. When energy rises to higher frequency, anything that's out of harmony shakes loose. That trembling, the fear, the resistance, the anxiety, is the old frequency dying. You are not falling apart. You are recalibrating. The pain of growth is the friction of transformation. To build dangerous confidence, you must normalize that friction. Comfort keeps you asleep. Discomfort wakes you up. Here's how to train for it. 1. Lean 1 inch past comfort daily. You don't need to jump into chaos. Just step slightly beyond what feels easy. Speak when you'd normally stay silent. Try something without waiting to feel ready. Stretch a task 10% longer than usual. Small edges compounded create massive expansion. 2. Reframe fear as signal, not stop sign. When fear rises, your body is alerting you to potential growth, not guaranteed danger. Breathe. Thank it for warning you. Then act anyway, from awareness, not panic. 3. Track proof of endurance. Each time you survive discomfort, mark it down. Read those notes often. Confidence grows from evidence. The memory that you have met pain and lived. The body trusts repetition more than pep talks. 4. Celebrate the shake. When your hands tremble before a challenge, smile. That tremor is your nervous system rewiring in real time. The shake means you're alive in expansion. Think of an athlete in training. The weights don't insult them. They strengthen them. The pain of resistance is proof of effort. In the same way, discomfort is the gym of the soul. The more you lift it, the stronger your energy becomes. On a cosmic scale, the universe itself expands through tension. Stars are born from gravitational compression. Light emerges when atoms collide. You are made of that same physics. Every pressure you face is sculpting brilliance inside you. People who seek only ease never learn their true capacity. They mistake peace for the absence of struggle, when in truth, peace comes from competence, from knowing you can handle whatever comes. Discomfort gives you that proof. The confident are not fearless. They are familiar with fear. They've built rapport with challenge. They know the trembling stage before growth, and they enter it willingly. Here's the paradox. Once discomfort becomes normal, you stop fearing it. It loses its power to stop you. Then, what others call risk, you call Tuesday. That detachment is magnetic because it radiates freedom, the freedom of someone who no longer negotiates with fear. So make discomfort your ally. Seek it gently, daily, deliberately. Let it teach you endurance, humility, and strength. When pain arrives, whisper to yourself, This is the weight that builds me. Every step outside comfort raises your vibration, thickens your confidence, and brings you closer to your unbreakable core. Discomfort is not the enemy of confidence. It is its architect, and the soul that learns to live inside it cannot be controlled by anything outside it. That is how you build power that no storm can move, by walking straight into the rain until it feels like weather, not war. Chapter 9. Speak less. Command more. Powerful people never waste words. They understand that language is not only communication, it is vibration. Every word carries frequency, and every frequency alters the field around you. When you speak without intention, you scatter energy. When you speak with precision, you sculpt reality. Most people talk to fill silence, to escape discomfort, or to prove presence. But the more you talk, the more your words lose weight. Confidence does not live in volume. It lives in restraint. The person who can stay silent when others chase noise already holds the upper hand. Because silence signals self-control, and self-control signals power. You have felt it before. Someone who speaks rarely, yet every sentence lands like a strike. Why? Because their energy is condensed. Their words carry the density of thought, observation, and timing. People lean in because presence precedes speech. That is command. Biologically, this control of speech is a form of nervous system regulation. The impulsive brain wants to discharge emotion through sound, quick answers, over-explanations, nervous chatter. But the regulated brain lets energy build into clarity. When you wait before speaking, the prefrontal cortex gathers data, filters emotion, and chooses precision over reaction. You appear calm because your chemistry is calm. Here is the practice of verbal economy, the discipline of speaking less and meaning more. 1. Slow down your response. Pause a second before answering any question. That pause does not weaken your authority. It magnifies it. People interpret stillness as certainty. The mind that rushes seems unsure. The mind that waits appears wise. 2. Edit in real time. When you speak, imagine your words as currency. Each one you spend should buy something. Clarity, direction, truth. If it doesn't, keep it. The fewer words you use, the more expensive they become. 3. Replace explanation with declaration. Instead of long justifications, I just thought maybe we could, say, I've decided this. Instead of, I hope that's okay, say, this feels right. You are not seeking permission. You are establishing direction. 4. Let silence work. After making a statement, stop. Let silence echo. People rush to fill quiet because they can't bear uncertainty. You must learn to love it. Silence is gravity. It pulls attention in. Energy-wise, words are spells. In every ancient tradition, language was sacred because it directs vibration into form. When you speak carelessly, you disperse your focus into random frequencies. When you speak deliberately, you weave intention into matter. The confident speak as if every word is an act of creation, because it is. The same rule applies in the presence of others. When you speak less, you give people space to reveal themselves. They fill the silence with their truths, fears, and patterns, while you stay centered, observing. That is strategic stillness. Information comes to those who do not compete for it. Spiritually, the power of quiet is immense. In stillness, your energy field thickens. Your vibration stabilizes. When you finally speak, your words emerge from coherence, not chaos. The universe responds faster to coherent commands than to desperate chatter. That's why prayer, affirmation, or intention works best when calm, because calm is clarity amplified. Try this experiment. For one day, reduce your spoken words by half. Notice what happens. Conversations slow down. People listen differently. Your awareness heightens. The air around your sentences feels denser. That's not imagination. That's energy concentration. Confidence is not the need to speak. It's the freedom not to. The one who can withhold reaction, the one who lets silence breathe between sentences, owns the moment. And when they do speak, their voice carries the authority of restraint. Remember, the universe was not shouted into existence. It was spoken into order. You are using the same instrument. Speak with care. Let silence hold what words cannot express. The fewer syllables you use, the stronger your energy becomes. Learn to speak like fire. Small, controlled, and impossible to ignore. That is how you shift from noise to presence, from talking to commanding, from explaining to influencing. Speak less. Mean more. Let silence become your loudest language. Chapter 10. Turn rejection into power. Rejection is not your enemy. It is your mirror, your teacher, your forge. Every no is a friction that sharpens the blade of who you are becoming. But most people treat rejection like poison. They recoil, internalize, and make it personal. They let a temporary verdict become a permanent identity. They mistake redirection for ruin. The truth, rejection is neutral energy. It only gains meaning through interpretation. One person hears no and collapses. Another hears no and recalibrates. The difference isn't circumstance, it's consciousness. When you face rejection, your nervous system reacts like it's physical pain. Neuroscience confirms it. The same brain circuits that process injury, process exclusion. But here lies your advantage. Awareness. Once you understand this, you stop treating emotional pain as proof of failure. You learn to metabolize it. Just as muscles tear before they grow, your self-concept stretches each time it's challenged. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this revealing?" Maybe the rejection exposes a skill gap that needs strengthening. Maybe it closes a door misaligned with your purpose. Maybe it's life redirecting your frequency toward resonance you couldn't yet perceive. Here's the formula. Rejection. Data plus direction. Data tells you what isn't aligned. Direction shows you where to refine. Together, they become fuel. Let's bring this into practice. 1. Detach emotion from evaluation. You are not the outcome. You are the process. When something or someone says no, it's not a statement about your worth. It's a reflection of fit, timing, or readiness. Breathe. Step back. Observe. 2. Extract the feedback. Every rejection contains information. Ask, what can I learn from this? What will I upgrade before the next attempt? Turn ego into curiosity. The moment you analyze instead of agonize, rejection becomes research. 3. Transmute pain into progress. Energy cannot be destroyed, only redirected. Use the emotional charge to act. Refine your craft. Train your focus. Double your discipline. Convert hurt into motion. 4. Reframe rejection as redirection. Every closed path reroutes you toward a more aligned destination. The universe operates by resonance. What's not a vibrational match falls away. Thank it for the clarity it gives you. Spiritually, rejection is the universe's way of clearing interference. It removes what can't sustain your next level. When something leaves, it's not loss, it's calibration. Energy organizes around truth, and truth doesn't require chasing. The greatest confidence doesn't come from being accepted. It comes from realizing you no longer need to be. The confident person welcomes rejection as confirmation of standards. They don't shrink from no. They measure its message. Consider this. Every legend you admire collected rejections like medals. Books turned down a dozen times before becoming classics. Artists laughed at before being studied. Innovators mocked before reshaping industries. They didn't avoid rejection. They built muscle around it. Each no tempered their identity until approval was irrelevant. Energetically, rejection also refines your frequency. When you hold calm presence after being dismissed, your energy field strengthens. You are showing the universe that your worth isn't negotiable. That vibration, self-sustaining confidence, attracts alignment faster than desperation ever could. So the next time you're rejected, don't collapse. Breathe deeper. Stand taller. Feel the sting fully. It's proof of life, proof of effort, proof that you're in motion. Then alchemize it. Tell yourself, this is feedback, not failure. This is the sound of redirection. Confidence built through comfort is fragile. Confidence built through rejection is indestructible. Because once you learn that no cannot diminish your truth, no one else's opinion can either. Welcome rejection. Study it. Transform it. Each time you do, your energy becomes sharper, clearer, more precise. You stop chasing opportunities and start magnetizing them. Rejection doesn't define you. It refines you. It strips away what isn't aligned until only the essential remains. The version of you that no longer begs to be chosen because it has already chosen itself. And that, right there, is where dangerous confidence begins to glow from within. Chapter 11. Detach from outcomes. Become the quantum observer. The final level of confidence is freedom from control, the ability to act fully and release completely. You give everything, yet remain untouched by whether it succeeds or fails. That is the paradox of mastery. When you no longer need a result, your results multiply. Most people chain their emotions to outcomes. If things go well, they rise. If things go wrong, they collapse. Their inner state is a hostage of external events. But confidence cannot depend on fluctuation. It must stand like the still axis around which the wheel turns. You are that axis. Detachment is not apathy. It is precision. It means your effort is absolute, your expectation neutral. You give your best and allow the universe to decide the form. The confident are disciplined in action, but surrendered in outcome. In quantum terms, attachment collapses possibilities too early. The more you obsess over a specific result, the narrower your field of potential becomes. When you let go, energy stays fluid. It can reorganize into forms beyond your limited imagination. The observer shapes reality, but the detached observer allows reality to surprise. From a psychological view, detachment is nervous system mastery. Anxiety comes from over-identifying with results. The body interprets imagined failure as real threat, flooding your bloodstream with stress hormones. But when you detach, you tell your biology, I am safe regardless of what happens. The body calms, clarity returns. You make sharper choices. Ironically, this non-attachment increases performance. Here's how to practice it. 1. Focus on input, not outcome. Shift your attention from what you can't control, others' reactions, timing, external validation, to what you can, effort, intention, integrity. Do the work impeccably, then let it go. 2. Speak this truth often. I release the result. I keep the lesson. Repeat it after meetings, conversations, or creative efforts. This rewires the subconscious to value growth over control. 3. Use detachment as feedback. Notice what you can't let go of. The tighter your grip, the clearer the signal of fear or ego. Breathe into that tension and loosen it, one layer at a time. 4. Practice neutrality in small moments. If you spill coffee, if plans change, if someone disappoints you, stay still. Smile. Whisper, "It's data." You're training your mind to remain sovereign in chaos. On the spiritual level, detachment is faith in motion. When you release control, you are acknowledging that life has intelligence. You become the current, not the dam. Confidence, then, is not arrogance. It's trust. Trust that you can handle whatever outcome arises, because your power doesn't depend on the shape of results. Think of the archer. They draw the bow, aim with full focus, and then release. The arrow flies where it must. The skilled archer doesn't chase it. Their mastery ends the moment the string leaves their fingers. Your life works the same way. Action is your domain. Outcome is the universe's. This surrender does not make you passive. It makes you precise. When your worth no longer hangs on performance, your movements become fluid, your creativity bold, your decisions fearless. You act not to prove, but to express. You stop living in tension and start living in flow. Energetically, attachment feels like contraction, a dense vibration that blocks circulation. Detachment opens channels. It lets energy move freely between desire and manifestation. The less you grip, the faster reality rearranges. Here's the hidden law. The universe gives its best to those who are no longer desperate for it. When you hold your vision lightly, you invite grace. When you clutch it, you strangle possibility. Remember, everything you seek is meant to serve evolution, not ego. When you detach from outcomes, you make space for higher orchestration. Sometimes that means loss, sometimes gain, but always alignment. So give fully, love fully, risk fully, then release fully. The confident do not wait for certainty. They trust their steadiness to meet any future. They understand that peace is not in winning or losing, but in remaining whole through both. You are not here to control life. You are here to collaborate with it. Once you learn to let go without losing focus, you enter a rare vibration, calm, clear, and unshakably free. That is the frequency of mastery. That is what it means to be the quantum observer, engaged in life, yet never entangled by it. Detachment is not distance, it's depth. It is standing so firmly in your center that outcomes orbit you, not the other way around. Chapter 12. Set boundaries, the geometry of self-respect. Confidence isn't only how far you go, it's how clearly you know where to stop. Boundaries are the invisible architecture of self-worth, the lines that tell energy, here is where my peace lives. Without them, life bleeds you. Most people confuse boundaries with walls. A wall isolates, a boundary defines. A wall blocks love, a boundary filters it. Boundaries are not rejection, they are direction. They show others how to meet you without violating you. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you split your energy. That fracture echoes through your tone, your posture, your sleep. You can't feel grounded while living in quiet resentment. The moment you set a boundary, you begin to reclaim the energy that was leaking into guilt and obligation. Biologically, boundaries regulate stress. When you overextend, cortisol rises. Your nervous system enters chronic vigilance. When you learn to say no calmly, parasympathetic balance returns. Peace is not mystical, it is chemical. Energetically, boundaries Strengthen your field. Imagine your aura as a membrane, semi-permeable, intelligent. It allows flow, but blocks intrusion. Each time you enforce a boundary, that membrane thickens. People can still approach you, but they can no longer drain you. You stop being a sponge and become a sun, radiant, contained, self-powered. Here's how to build this geometry of self-respect. 1. Identify the leaks. Where in your life do you feel consistent fatigue or quiet resentment? Those are coordinates of missing boundaries. Resentment is not cruelty. It's your soul whispering, "We've gone too far from ourselves." 2. Define the line clearly. Boundaries must be simple. I'm unavailable after this hour. I prefer not to discuss that topic. That tone doesn't work for me. Avoid justifications. Clarity is kindness. 3. Deliver with neutrality. When you enforce a boundary, stay calm. No defense, no aggression. Speak as if reading a fact, because it is one. The more emotionally neutral you sound, the more solid the energy feels. 4. Hold the silence. After setting a limit, resist the urge to explain. Silence after clarity is power. People may test the line. Don't fill the gap with excuses. Let them feel the integrity of your stillness. 5. Expect resistance. Respect it anyway. Those who benefited from your lack of boundaries may resist their return. Do not interpret their discomfort as your mistake. It's recalibration, not rejection. Spiritual science describes boundaries as sacred geometry. Every being, from atoms to galaxies, holds structure. The electron has its orbit, the planet, its path. Your energy needs the same definition to stay stable. Without structure, power diffuses. With it, power concentrates. When you hold firm boundaries, the right people sense safety around you. They know where they stand. They feel your coherence. Wrong people fall away, not because you pushed, but because your frequency no longer allows distortion. Understand this. You teach others how to treat you by how consistently you treat yourself. Each time you honor your own line, you instruct reality in how to honor it too. Opportunities begin to match your new standard. Conversations shift tone. Respect becomes your baseline. Confidence without boundaries is noise, loud but fragile. Boundaries give confidence rhythm, order, shape. They turn emotion into architecture. So begin today. Pick one place to draw the line. Hold it once, then again. The first time feels sharp. The second feels natural. The third feels necessary. Soon, saying no will not feel like rejection. It will feel like breathing. You do not owe anyone your exhaustion. You owe yourself your energy. And when your energy is protected, your presence multiplies in strength. The geometry of self-respect is simple. Clear lines, calm tone, steady heart. Build it, and you will discover that true confidence doesn't shout yes to everything. It whispers no with peace. That is the discipline that transforms power from posture into permanence. Chapter 13. Stand calm in chaos. The still point of power. Confidence is not tested when life obeys you. It is tested when life roars. Anyone can appear composed when everything flows according to plan. But the moment chaos arrives, the argument, the deadline, the uncertainty, most people fracture. Their breath shortens, voices rise, thoughts scatter. They mistake speed for control and noise for leadership. Real confidence is the opposite. It's the ability to stay still when everything else is shaking. It's not the absence of fear. It's the command of it. The calm person doesn't ignore the storm. They become the I within it. Here's the truth. Chaos doesn't steal your power. Your reaction to chaos does. The external event is neutral. Words, actions, numbers, weather, circumstance. It's the meaning you attach that floods your nervous system. But between the event and your interpretation lies choice. And that choice decides whether you spiral or stabilize. When the brain perceives threat, the amygdala activates, triggering fight, flight, or freeze. But you can override it. Breathe deeply into your diaphragm. The vagus nerve signals safety. Your body begins to remember that you are not in danger. You are in transition. This is emotional regulation in real time. The body becomes the anchor, so the mind can see clearly again. Try this. In the next moment of chaos, say quietly to yourself, I am not the storm, I am the center. Repeat until your breath obeys. That affirmation reprograms the nervous system faster than logic can. Once calm returns, perspective widens, options reappear that panic had hidden. On an energetic level, calmness is coherence. In physics, coherence means order. Waves moving in harmony. When your energy is coherent, it organizes the chaos around you. That's why the calm person in a crisis becomes the reference point for others. Their steadiness is contagious because energy seeks balance. Your nervous system becomes the tuning fork the room aligns to. Spiritually, this is the art of non-resistance. You stop fighting what is and start working with it. Chaos then shifts from obstacle to instrument. The same wave that once drowned you now carries you forward because you learned to surf it instead of stop it. Here's the practice. 1. Slow everything down. Chaos thrives on urgency. The moment you feel pulled to rush, do the opposite. Speak slower, move slower, breathe deeper. The slower your rhythm, the faster clarity returns. 2. Ground in the body. Feel your feet on the floor. Drop awareness from your head into your chest, then lower into your belly. This pulls you out of the mind's noise and into physical presence, the only place power actually exists. 3. Observe instead of absorb. Look at chaos like weather, passing, unpredictable but temporary. The storm is around you, not inside you. When you observe it, instead of embodying it, you reclaim sovereignty. 4. Lower your voice. Power whispers. When others shout, let your volume drop. The quieter your tone, the more authority it carries. The loud try to convince. The calm make people listen. Remember, the calm person is not detached. They are deliberate. They feel everything but let nothing hijack their direction. They stand still, not because they are unaffected, but because they are anchored. Chaos reveals leadership. Anyone can pilot a ship on smooth seas, but the captain who holds course through waves commands respect without demanding it. You can become that captain, not by controlling the ocean, but by mastering your own steering. Energetically, calmness increases magnetism. When you remain unbothered amid disorder, others subconsciously trust you. They gravitate toward your energy because it feels like safety. This is why true leaders don't chase followers. They stabilize themselves, and followers appear naturally. From this moment forward, treat every chaotic situation as training. Each one gives you another chance to refine your still point. Breathe through noise until your pulse slows. Move through tension until grace returns. The world will still spin, but you will no longer spin with it. That is dangerous confidence. Serenity with a spine. It's not about pretending nothing shakes you. It's about knowing that even if the ground breaks, you remain intact. Be the still point in every storm. Let others feel your calm and remember their own. That's how chaos stops being an enemy and becomes your proof of mastery. When you can stay steady while everything trembles, you are no longer part of the noise. You are the silence that commands it. Chapter 14. Train until skill becomes frequency. Confidence that lasts is never born from belief alone. It's built from evidence. You can repeat affirmations until your voice goes hoarse, but until your body knows what it can do, your mind will always look for proof. Skill is that proof. When your actions have been rehearsed 1,000 times, belief is no longer required. You don't hope you can. You know you can. Mastery is the most underrated form of confidence. It is quiet, automatic, and earned. The confident athlete, the composed speaker, the calm negotiator, they are not guessing. Their nervous systems have been trained to remain functional under stress. What looks like talent is muscle memory. What looks like magic is preparation made invisible. Neuroscience calls it myelination, the process where practice coats neural pathways with insulating layers that make electrical signals fire faster. Each repetition engraves certainty into your biology. What once required thought becomes instinct. This is why skill outlasts motivation. Discipline reprograms the body to perform, even when the mind wavers. But there's a deeper layer, the energetic one. Every time you train with presence, you're not just conditioning muscles, you're calibrating vibration. Practice is meditation in motion. Repetition stabilizes your frequency because it removes doubt through evidence. When your energy carries proof, it emits certainty. People feel it before you speak it. Here's the method for turning practice into power. 1. Train deliberately, not endlessly. 10 mindful repetitions are worth more than 100 mechanical ones. Attention is what programs mastery. When you practice, be fully there. Each movement, each tone, each breath aligned with awareness. 2. Push until precision breaks, then pause. Growth lives at the edge of failure. When your form starts to falter, rest, recalibrate, repeat. The discomfort you feel is not weakness. It's the brain wiring stronger circuits. 3. Anchor confidence through embodiment. After a successful repetition, stop and feel it. Breathe the sensation of competence into your body. Let it register in your cells. Confidence is stored somatically. It lives in the body more than the intellect. 4. Repeat until boredom. Boredom signals familiarity. Once a task feels dull, mastery is forming. Continue beyond that threshold, because boredom is often the gate to effortless flow. Spiritually, training is devotion. It is the physical form of faith. Faith that the unseen effort will translate into visible strength. Every repetition is a prayer. Every small improvement an answered one. The mind learns humility here. Mastery is not a moment of arrival. It is an ongoing conversation between intention and refinement. The confident person doesn't announce what they can do. They simply do it. Calmly, consistently, correctly. Their competence speaks louder than declarations, because competence is the language the world understands without translation. Here's a truth few accept. Talent may start the journey, but only repetition sustains it. The universe itself is patterned through repetition. Waves, seasons, breath, heartbeat. You are built the same way. Each deliberate act of practice aligns you with the rhythm of creation. That rhythm builds certainty. Energetically, the vibration of mastery is calm. Beginners radiate excitement or anxiety. Masters radiate stillness. Their energy feels inevitable. When you reach that stage, opportunities recognize you. They sense resonance. You no longer chase. You magnetize. So train. Train beyond the point of needing confidence. Train until you no longer think about how to act, speak, or move. Train until skill becomes identity. Until your nervous system holds the frequency of, "I've done this before," and when life tests you, you won't need to remember techniques or mantras. The body will answer for you. The hands will know. The voice will settle. The mind will quiet. This is the summit of practice, when skill dissolves into frequency and confidence becomes your natural vibration. Because the truth is simple. The universe does not reward what you wish for. It responds to what you are. Training makes you that. Practice until the act is prayer, until the motion is meditation, until the skill and the soul are one coherent tone. That is unshakable confidence. Not thought, not theory, but lived frequency. Chapter 15. Live as if you need nothing, the state of total freedom. The final and highest form of confidence is detachment from need. Walking through the world whole, not hungry. It is not arrogance, not indifference. It is the calm knowing that everything external is temporary, and everything essential is already within you. Most people live as seekers, always chasing, always measuring their worth by the next approval, possession, or milestone. They confuse fullness with accumulation. But the truth is inverted. The less you need, the more powerful you become. When you no longer move from lack, you move from presence. You act out of purpose, not pressure. Love, not longing. This shift changes everything. Your tone, your decisions, even your energy field. People can feel the difference between someone who wants validation and someone who is validation. On a spiritual level, this is self-sufficiency of vibration. Every human emits a frequency based on their inner state. Neediness radiates contraction. It pulls energy outward, seeking to be filled. Wholeness radiates expansion. It fills the space without asking for permission. The confident do not compete for attention. Attention gravitates toward them naturally, because wholeness is magnetic. To live as if you need nothing, you must first see how much of your life has been built around need. The need to be liked, the need to succeed, the need to prove. Each one ties your worth to something that can vanish. When you detach those cords, you stop being fragile. Here's how to practice the art of inner sufficiency. 1. Convert need into preference. You can want things deeply, success, love, recognition, but want them as preferences, not requirements. Say to yourself, "It would be wonderful to have this, but I am whole without it." This subtle shift transforms pressure into peace. 2. Provide for yourself first. Give yourself what you keep begging the world to provide: approval, patience, rest, honesty. Every time you self-supply a need, you reclaim power from the external and anchor it inside. 3. Replace chasing with radiating. Instead of chasing success, become the kind of person success seeks. Instead of searching for love, embody love so purely that it recognizes itself in you. Stop running toward, start emanating from. 4. Practice gratitude as energy hygiene. Gratitude stabilizes your vibration in sufficiency. Each acknowledgement of what you already have closes the gap between want and have. Gratitude doesn't make you complacent. It tunes you to abundance, so new abundance can recognize you. 5. Remember impermanence. Everything external is rented, not owned. Money, applause, even relationships. When you hold that truth gently, you stop gripping. You enjoy deeply, but you no longer depend. Energetically, living as if you need nothing transforms your field from consumption to contribution. You stop draining rooms and start feeding them. Your presence becomes a source. That's why such people are irresistible. They carry the rare vibration of, I am enough. Philosophically, this is freedom in its purest form. Stoics called it apatheia, not the absence of feeling, but mastery over it. Buddhists call it non-attachment. Science calls it emotional independence. All point to the same truth. Liberation begins where need ends. When you reach this state, fear dissolves because nothing can be taken from you. Approval may fade, fortunes may change, people may leave, yet your peace remains constant. That's invincibility, not through dominance, but through detachment. Imagine living like that, creating art not to be praised, but because creativity is your nature. Speaking truth not to persuade, but because silence would betray you. Loving not to possess, but because love flows through you. That is the highest confidence. A life where every act is an expression, not an exchange. To live as if you need nothing is not to reject the world. It is to engage it without bondage. You can have everything, yet cling to nothing. That balance makes you untouchable. When your identity no longer depends on outcomes, you become transparent to life. The universe flows through you effortlessly. Energy once wasted on fear and craving returns as clarity, intuition, grace. This is the apex of self-mastery. No longer reactive, no longer dependent, entirely sovereign. The body still moves through the world, but the soul walks above it, watching, guiding, unbound. And that is dangerous confidence in its purest form. The power of a person who doesn't need power to feel powerful. You don't chase, you attract. You don't perform, you embody. You don't prove, you exist. When you live as if you need nothing, you finally possess everything that matters. Peace, clarity, freedom. And nothing in this world can shake a person who is already whole. Conclusion. The silent power within you. Confidence has nothing to do with noise. It has nothing to do with posturing, pretending, or performing for the world. It is not about walking into rooms demanding to be seen. It is about walking in and being felt before you ever speak. Real confidence is not the absence of doubt. It is the mastery of it. It is the steady awareness that even when fear whispers, you move anyway. It is the quiet knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. Because you trust your own rhythm more than the chaos around you. Across these chapters, you've learned to stop explaining yourself and start embodying your choices. To master the voice inside your head instead of trying to control the noise outside of it. To build self-respect first so that confidence arises naturally from that foundation. To kill the need for approval and to replace validation with vision. To respond with silence instead of emotion, to let your body speak before your words do, to lead instead of react, to embrace discomfort as your spiritual gym, to speak less and command more, to turn rejection into redirection, to detach from outcomes, to set boundaries as acts of self-love, to stand calm in chaos, to train until skill becomes identity, and finally, to live as if you need nothing. Each of these lessons is a tool, but together they form an ecosystem, a complete recalibration of your internal world. The outer world follows. When the energy inside you stabilizes, life starts to rearrange itself around your new vibration. This is the science of alignment. You are an electromagnetic being, broadcasting thought, emotion, and frequency every second. When you stop sending signals of fear, need, and approval seeking, your field clears. When your vibration holds coherence, a stable tone of self-trust, the universe mirrors it back through people, opportunities, and synchronicities that match your new wavelength. That's not luck. That's physics. Confidence, then, is not a personality trait. It's a state of energetic order, when mind, body, and spirit move in one direction. The loud world calls it power. The spiritual world calls it alignment. The scientific world calls it regulation. But in essence, they all mean the same thing: harmony. Your work from this point forward is simple: integration. Every situation that tests you is an invitation to practice these truths. When someone challenges you, hold silence instead of reaction. When rejection comes, see the lesson instead of the loss. When chaos erupts, breathe slower, stand taller. When fear whispers, step forward. Every choice becomes a vote for the self you are becoming, and over time, those votes turn into identity. Confidence stops being something you try to have. It becomes something you are. Remember, the person you're becoming is not new. It's the one that's always been inside you, waiting for you to stop doubting long enough to hear its voice. Beneath the noise, beneath the hesitation, beneath the need for proof, there is a still point: your true nature. Calm, clear, certain. That is the real you. The one who doesn't chase energy, but generates it. Who doesn't beg to be seen, but illuminates quietly. Who doesn't force control, but flows in mastery. Every time you choose steadiness over panic, truth over performance, stillness over noise, you align more deeply with that true self. The result is not arrogance. It's serenity, not bravado, but presence. The world will always test you. It's meant to. Every storm, every no, every moment of uncertainty is simply life asking, will you stay in your center or give it away again? If you choose to stay, if you breathe, observe, and act from peace, you've already won. Because the goal was never perfection, it was sovereignty. You now carry everything you need, not because you learned something new, but because you remembered who you already are. You are the stillness beneath the storm. You are the voice before words. You are the presence that doesn't need permission. Walk in that truth. Live it. Embody it quietly, fully, completely. Because once you stop reacting to everything around you, nothing around you can control you. That is the essence of dangerous confidence. And that power, that calm, magnetic, unshakable power, has been yours all along. If this audiobook gave you even one moment of clarity, share it with someone who might need the same pause. And subscribe so next time, calm finds you first.